Teenagers will do almost anything to fit in, including drinking alcohol. But what starts as a simple sip can lead to a tragic ending. 23 ABC's Christine Dinh spoke to a teenage alcoholic whose life will never be the same because of the choices he's made. Christine?
18-year-old David Longoria injured 5 people and caused a fiery explosion in a DUI crash last summer. Now he sits behind bars. The trouble all started when he was 15 years old, trying to be cool.
I never ever thought that this would happen, and neither did he. He made a really bad choice.
A bad choice that has landed Stacy Thomas's son, 18-year-old David Longoria, behind bars. Longoria says it all started 3 years ago when he was 15 years old and started drinking to fit in with friends.
Well, it started with I was only drinking on the weekends, and then I would drink school nights too, and then wake up in the morning lazy and groggy. I would tell my dad I'm sick, and then when that stopped working, I would pretend to go to school and ditch and, go drink.
Longoria became a high school dropout and teenage alcoholic.
It's one of the only things in my life that has ever made me feel like I needed it, to have fun and to have a good time.
But that good time came to a crashing end last summer when Longoria left a party, loaded up 5 people in his car, and drove drunk, despite being told by an officer not to drink and drive.
I felt like I was Mr. Cool Guy and decided to defy what the officer told me to, which is one of the worst mistakes, probably the worst mistake I've ever made in my entire life.
Longoria ran a red light at California and Oak and slammed into Jacob Conin's car at 75 miles an hour.
At the last minute, I heard a horn honk, and I looked over in the headlights, and that was the last thing I saw.
The impact was so great it sent both cars more than 100 feet down the road. Longoria's car burst into flames. Bystanders had to pull him out. Conin says he was blind for 3 weeks after the crash.
I had glass in both eyes. I have 2 bulges in my lower back, and my collarbone will always be out of place.
Longoria's 4 passengers also suffered major injuries. Longoria had minor cuts.
I think about it every night before I go to sleep. I think it could have been a family. It just makes me kind of sick to my stomach.
Earlier this month, a judge sentenced Longoria to 4 years in jail.
I wish they would have gave me more of a chance.
I'm not saying he does not deserve to be punished, because he does, but I don't think sending him to prison was the answer.
Even Conin agrees, despite being within inches of death in the crash.
I think it's a little too harsh. I think that because he's so young.
But Mothers Against Drunk Driving advocate Carla Pearson, whose son died in a DUI crash, feels differently.
I don't feel that it's adequate enough. Not only the people that were in his car, society, our community was at high risk with him on the road.
Although it did not cost anyone's life, it was a costly mistake.
Just for the taxpayer alone to pay for that crash itself is costly. And then the young man that was hurt in the other vehicle, he's going to pay for that. So unfair? Yeah, it is unfair. It's unfair that he got in that car that night. It's unfair that he put innocent people at risk.
There are people out there who drink and drive and kill people in accidents who were given less time than my son. 16 months for a manslaughter. Where's the justice in that?
Longoria believes justice was served for Conin.
I feel horrible for what I did to him. It's really hard to know that you let your whole family down. I've already been through a lot in these 8 months in jail. I feel like I know that I never in my life want to come back here.
In the story, Longoria's mother asks, why is it a person convicted of vehicular manslaughter in a DUI case would get 1 year in jail, while her son, who did not kill anyone, get 4 years? Does the punishment fit the crime? We went to the district attorney's office, and we'll have the answers coming up on 23 ABC News at 5:30. In the studio, I'm Christine Dinh, 23 ABC.